So my role at Arm is physical implementation. Essentially what that means is that Arm's business model is to design processors and then sell them on to our customers. But we don't actually do any manufacture of those processors. So our role in the team is to ensure that those designs can actually be manufactured. And so what we do is we do the physical place and route of those designs and then ensure that it meets our targets for a particular product. While I was part of the Arm-ECS collaboration, I was a PhD student. So I was a student at the University of Southampton, and I did my PhD under a professor by the name of Bashir Al-Hashimi. But my supervision came from both him and a couple of people at Arm. So there's a guy called David Flynn who works at Arm, who's a visiting professor at the university. James Myers was also helping me with technically on some of the things I did for my PhD. So I had a lot of help and influence from both Southampton and Arm side, which kind of helped me with my work through the PhD. My PhD was on low power. So the title of my PhD was leakage power minimization techniques for embedded processors. So embedded processors is what Arm does basically, and leakage power is a big problem in new nanometer technologies. So it was all about how can we reduce that in new technology, new processors. ECS students, I think, because of the facilities we have, because of the professors and the lecturers and stuff we have at ECS, I think they're always on the edge of what is new and what is happening in the world. And I think that's what makes them really unique. It's the fact that they've learnt what is important to industry today, not what was important to industry 5 years ago. I think the Arm-ECS relationship works both ways. I think from Southampton's point of view, there are students who can work with the engineers at Arm and collaborate and draw on their worldwide and technical expertise. But they can also have their PhD and masters guided in a way that is more industry focused and more useful to industry. From an Arm perspective, I think they can provide influence on a PhD or a master's project that is more interesting to Arm, and maybe not something that they would do here, a bit more blue sky. But at the same time, they can train up an engineer that they might want to hire in the future after they've finished their PhD or master's. So working at Arm, it's a very sort of friendly and collaborative environment. I think that's what makes it so fun to work at, and which is the reason that a lot of people stay. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of hierarchy. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of pressure, although there can be pressure at times. And it means that you can go and approach anybody and ask any question, and nothing's ever too silly to ask. So even if I went to my manager's manager and asked a question, they're always happy to help. And that's kind of one of the really big benefits of working at Arm.